Hi everyone, Letty here. Today I'm going to share with you another craft with me video where we take a 6x6 paper pad smash, we do a little stamping, some decorating, and make a ton of mini slimline cards. So the paper pad that I'm using today is called Dino Friends by Echo Park. It's an older one, I think from like 2016 maybe. It says I got it at Tuesday morning. Here are the scraps that were left. So for me, this is no usable scraps, because this is all I had left, and I have these because I die cut some images out of them. All the other papers I used, including the top pieces, I ended up with 24 cards that I've already prepped off camera. These are ready to be decorated. You see here that I used every single bit of that paper, even the top piece that had the hole. So I just layered some different sizes of the paper together and made the cards. So the one thing you'll see here is I did die cut some squares, and then I did have a back mat that was 3 inches by 6 inches. And then there's another mat that's 2 inches by 6 inches. And then I also had a little scrap that was almost 1 inch by 6 inch. And it was from the leftover from die cutting those squares. So, and then you'll see here too, again, I used every little bit, even the sections that were at the very top of the paper pad. And I just put them in combinations of layers on top of each other. And so what I thought we'd do today is stamp some images with this stamp set that I got also from Echo Park. It's super cute. They have the little dinosaurs, and then this little, there's nothing quite like little boy stamp sentiment. And this is called Boy Adventure. And it's, again, an Echo Park stamp. I think I got that on sale or something. One of their warehouse boxes maybe. And then here are some of the stamped images. So you see here, I've already stamped them with the Tim Holtz Distress Oxide. And then all I did was take a black pen and then a little bit of the white jelly roll pen, and I added a little bit of extra to each of the images. And then I've already stamped a few of the sentiments in, again, the blue Distress Oxide ink. So I've already die cut some of the stars. And then I have the 2 pens I'll be using, which is a Pigma Micron 5, that's the black marker, and then a Jelly Roll 10, which is the white. And then I do have 3 Tim Holtz Distress Oxides, Mowed Lawn, Speckled Egg, and then also Blueprint Sketch. So those are the 3 colors that I'm using for these cards. So, and then what we'll do is, I just wanted to show you this as well. These are the envelopes that I use. These are from Dollar Tree. And these are the self-seal. I've showed these before, so in case you were wondering what envelopes to use, I do sometimes get that question. Figured I would show that real quick. And then I'm just using my little acrylic block from Dollar Tree. I purchased this a while back. I actually use that more than my more expensive acrylic blocks. I'm going to use 2 different types of scissors today. I'm going to use my regular pair and then also my smaller precision ones. And then I'm going to use my Barely Art wet glue to glue the final decor onto the cards. So the first step that I'm going to do is I am going to stamp the dinosaur images in the colored ink, because these are full solid images. So it was actually kind of nice because I don't have to do any coloring. I just have to stamp the image, and then I can just do a little bit of decoration with the outlines in the black and the white. So I'm just taking the first color, which is Speckled Egg. You see here where it just stamps a cute little image. Doesn't have to be perfect. I figured these would be great donation cards for kids, and I figured that they would not mind if the image was not perfect. So I'm just stamping the image and then letting it dry for a bit, and then I'll go back and I will, again, do some outlines and things. So I'm just showing you here, I'm using the non-alcohol baby wipes. These are the fragrance-free from Dollar Tree. I'm a pretty frugal crafter, if you haven't noticed, and so I just use a lot of Dollar Tree items when I'm crafting. I am definitely no expert stamper by any means. I just use what I have or what I can find. And so now I'm going to go in and stamp the second image in a different color, which is the other dinosaur. I just thought that these colors went really well with the actual colors of the paper pad. So I thought they would be just super cute. And I mean, obviously, Dino Friends or Dino Friends, you know you're going to have to use some dinosaur images if you're using that paper pad. So I thought these worked perfectly for it. So I'm just cleaning off my image. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to set these stamped images aside so I can let them dry just a bit. And now I'm going to stamp all of my stamped sentiments. So I'm laying out all of my stitched stars that I die cut. And I'm going to just basically add my stamp to my acrylic block, get some ink on it, and then go ahead and stamp it down. I do not have a like stamping apparatus or anything, so I just try to press down as much as I can when I stamp so I can try to get a clean image. And as long as you, what I find is as long as you put enough ink on the image itself and you have a mat under your paper that you're going to be stamping on, it helps kind of support it. You get a pretty decent stamped image. Now, the beauty of these cards is the outside is going to say there's nothing quite like little boys. On the inside, you could turn this into a happy birthday card, a just hello card, a congratulations card, miss you card. You could turn this into anything. And so I thought these would just be a great sentiment to put on the outside to use for these little donation cards that I'm going to make. So here I'm adding my stamp back. So I cleaned it and then I put it back in the packaging. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move over all of my stamped stars, move them aside, let those dry for a second, and take back out my stamped images so we can do our black outlines followed by our white extra doodles. So I'm just adding with the Pigma Micron black marker. Or black pen, I'm just adding a little bit of an outline. You see here, nothing fancy. Again, I am not an artist or anything like that. So I am just literally adding a little scribbled black outline on the actual image just to kind of make it stand out a little bit and make it a little bit more bold. I find that it just adds a little bit more dimension to the image itself, and it gives it an extra pop whenever you add that little outline. So that's exactly what I'm doing here. Add a couple of additional little black dots to the already little set of white dots on the dinosaurs. Again, just adding some dimension. If you wanted to make these pop, you could also technically add a little bit of glossy accents. You could do so many little things with these. You could heat emboss these images, but I just kept it flat. So those are the black outlines. Now I'm just adding a couple of little squiggly lines and dots just to add some additional outlines and dimension to these images. Nothing fancy and nothing hard at all. Very, very easy. I find that just adding a little bit of outline here and there or some dots really adds to the images. So here's just a quick little close-up. It's kind of hard to see there, but I just added, again, just a little bit of white outline. So I'm using my bigger scissors just to kind of cut them apart. So that's why I had 2 pairs of scissors. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my smaller precision scissors to do the fussy cutting. Now, one tip that I will share that I'm sure everybody shares is that notice that you don't really have to move the scissors. You're going to want to move the paper when you're fussy cutting. So you keep your scissors pretty much in the same position and you literally are shifting the paper. And at least I find that works the best when I'm trying to fussy cut, and it makes the fussy cutting go a little bit faster and a little bit easier. So I actually fussy cut these pretty quickly. I know I'm speeding up the video, but it actually in real time it didn't take very long because again I'm just moving that paper to whatever shape that I want to cut it. So I'm leaving just a small thin white border around them to almost look like little stickers. So I thought that would be cute on these little boy donation cards. So here are my stamped images that have the outlines and the additional little white. And then of course I have all of my stamped sentiments that will go on the cards themselves. So now it's time to decorate. So again, I've already pre-made the kind of background or the mats of these cards off camera. I can definitely smash another pad in the future and show you exactly how to do this using the same method. I'm sure I've done some other videos in the past that are very similar to this, but I figured in this video I would change it up a little bit and show you or let you come along with me for the stamping and decorating process. So here's what those finished cards look like. Here are the first 2. Nothing fancy, but they still turned out pretty cute. And then if you do have those holes that are exposed, just don't forget to cover them up. You see here, you can cover it up with the sentiment. You can also cover it up with an image, just as long as you cover it up. Make sure you do not forget to cover it up because obviously you don't want that hole to show through. So I am just going to finish decorating these. And you could do this same technique with actual regular stamped images. Instead of doing the marker outlines, you could actually just stamp images and then color them with like alcohol markers or really any type of markers, color pencils. Or if you get lucky like I did, this stamp set just stamps a full colored image, which is nice. And there are stamp sets like this. So I am just going to finish adding all of these little decorations to my cards. Again, I ended up with 24 total cards from this one paper pad. Now, the weird thing or the good thing, depending on how you look at it, for this little paper pad is there was no sentiments cut aparts. So there was no cut aparts at all. It was all pattern paper. So it actually worked to my benefit because I didn't have to try to figure out how to use those little bitty 2x3 cut aparts or the 2x2 cut aparts or, you know, whatever size come in some of these older pads. The newer pads seem to be having a little bit bigger cut apart here recently. But these older pads tended to have some of the very, very, very tiny cut aparts, which I sometimes find hard to use. So this paper pad is very unique in that there were no cut aparts. And so I just cut down all my paper, layered everything up, and I cut a little bit and had very, very, very little to no scraps left over. Super fun. And again, if you're a person who likes to do assembly line cards, this is a great option for you because you can cut everything in one session. Then you can go back to your card making and you can glue everything down, and then you can come back in a final step and do basically what I did on camera here today and do your final decorations and then finish assembling or decorating those cards. The total time that this video took was about an hour from start to finish, but I had already prepped the cards off camera. It was just the decorating, the stamping, the doodling, the decorating, the gluing. That's what took about an hour. So this whole process for me probably took about 3 hours, maybe even 3.5 or 4 hours max, to make all of the cards from start to finish. Again, this decorating piece was just an hour. So this process goes so quick. It really, really goes so quick, especially if if you do it like me, I did it in segments. So I did a little bit here, a little bit there. And then at the end, I said, you know what, let's just bring everybody along and we'll do the final stamping together. Super fun. So we are down to the last 4 cards here. I'm just adding these stars, the final stars. And I thought the stars really went well with this pattern paper and the themes. And there's just so many options that you have for these cute little papers. So I have not decided which group I will be donating these to, but what I figured is I would start stocking up so that way when the donation presented itself, I would already have them and I would be able to include them in. So let's just do a quick full recap. Again, this was the Dino Friends by Echo Park. I got 24 mini slimline cards and I had no usable scraps left over. So here are what my cards ended up looking like. And on the inside, I'll just add a piece of white paper just so they can be written on. Super quick, super easy, super fun little stamp sentiments. If you're someone who does not like to color, this is a great option for you. Let the ink do all the coloring for you. You don't even really have to do the outlines the way that I did. You could just stamp the images. So, and I think these will make great little donation cards. So there you go, 24 mini slimline cards. Again, Dino Friends by Echo Park. 24 pages, 24 cards. This was a 6x6 paper pad smash. No usable scraps left over. Thanks for visiting, everyone. Hope you subscribe, like this video, follow me on Instagram, and as always, happy crafting.